Hello, I'm Danny DeHeck, and this is the What the Heck podcast. This is my weekly podcast that I do every 6 weeks. So thank you for tuning into my podcast, watching my YouTube channel, or visiting my website is where you'll find my content. I've got 2 disclaimers before I start. The first one is I'm dyslexic. So don't expect perfection when reading my show notes. And I struggle with pronunciation, so I'll be using text to voice quite a lot as I do this podcast. The second one is I am no way affiliated with HyperVerse. No one is paying me for this video. I am in the process of building up my YouTube channel, so I really do value having you as a subscriber, or subscribing to any of my content would be much appreciated. 10 reasons why people are telling me that HyperVerse is real and not a Ponzi scheme. Interesting. Let me explain what's up for grabs. So you got Membership 2.0 just released. They welcome you to invest $400 with the promised daily rewards at 0.5%, which equals $2 a day. So if you let that compile, within 200 days, you'll break even and you'll get your return on the investment. And over the next 400 days, it's all profit. And after that ends, because it does end, you have a choice. You can either reinvest in a higher level or stop. You can never take out your initial investment. It's not a bank. You can only withdraw withdrawals if you are lucky, which I will explain in this video. Basically, you are loaning money to HyperVerse to pay your own rewards. You can also receive 20% commission if you recruit other people. And this all goes on to your HyperVerse account that you can never withdraw, but you collect greater rewards. So if you do get your return on investment, you deserve it because you invested wisely. It does actually start to seem like people that are involved in HyperVerse are actually like they're in a religious cult at the moment, and they've all turned into HyperZombies. They are convinced that the world is not flat, and for some reason a lot of their comments are starting to get quite repetitive, just like they have been brainwashed. So what I've done is I've put together this YouTube video, podcast, and post on my website 10 reasons why people are telling me that HyperVerse is real and not a Ponzi scheme or scamming billions. The first one I get is it's not a scam because I'm getting money out of it. So you're stealing money and no one is stopping you, and for this reason you're convinced it's not a scam. You're also not concerned that when it falls over, a lot of people are going to lose their money. As long as you're getting your daily rewards, you are happy to promote this to your friends and family. Shame on you. You are a modern day thief. You are stealing money that is not yours. Multi-level marketing is designed for people to win who are at the top. I keep getting messages from people and they say they've been paid hundreds of dollars every day. The adrenaline must be amazing. You found a way to steal money and not get arrested. This does not mean that you are not a criminal. Okay, I've got a picture. Here it is. And that is a vault with the money open. I'm going to go back. And it says, so it's just like walking into the back of the bank, finding that the vault is wide open and grabbing as much money as you can before the door gets slammed shut. The tellers, they keep collecting money from people who are streaming in the front door, hoping to capitalize on the too good to be true deal that had been shared to them by their friends. You robbers, you don't care. It doesn't matter about how many people you'll hurt as long as you get your share of the loot. So I've got to ask you guys, what are you going to do with the money? Are you going to give it to the people in Ukraine? Are you going to give it to a charity? There's no doubt that you are selfish and you're only looking after your own interest. I believe your actions are unethical. Shame on you. Number 2, I I haven't researched the company and I don't know what I'm talking about. Number 2 reason. A lot of people are telling me that I haven't done my research. Now you tell me, how can I research a company that is not listed on any company register? The only research you can do is on their website and read their own published propaganda. It's like reading a fantastic book, very exciting. So I did actually manage to join the official Facebook group. You can watch my YouTube video of me spending 8.5 minutes scrolling through all the messages. You will see that they are strictly controlled by 2 people, and this is where I use my text to voice.
Nana Evie and Mandy Elliott.
So Mandy Elliott and Nana Evie. They seem to be controlling all the posts. Most of the posts are reassuring people to hang in there and have faith in the ecosystem that they're going to build in the metaverse. The ecosystem is just around the corner. This is very cultish. The announcement that they were meant to be coming out in January haven't happened. And one guy I noticed, he actually did win 100 HVT, and so I thought I'd contact him. His name is
Dr. Juana Mackenzie and Juana Mackenzie.
He had 2 Facebook accounts. I contacted him on both of those Facebook accounts, and it was the same guy. He said he has one Facebook account for personal and another Facebook account for business, which isn't actually in the terms and conditions of Facebook, just saying. And he didn't know anything about the 100 HVT that he won from HyperVerse. So that was quite interesting. As we chatted, he started hammering me more and more. No doubt you're getting this. And then he wanted to help build my crypto portfolio because he claimed to be an expert. So he's probably in on the scam as well, even though he didn't know about the reward. You can watch my video when I got access to the Facebook group. It has now been relabeled HyperVerse official Facebook shut down, overwhelmed with scammed members demanding money back. And that's literally what was happening. They could control the new post, but they couldn't control the comments that people were making saying, "Where's my money?" So they've removed all 15,000 followers, and there's only those 2 people left in that group now. Terrible. So if you don't know me well, I used to be part of a religious cult, and I used to go to 5 meetings each week. The propaganda and the brainwashing techniques that the Jehovah's Witness organization used on me is exactly the same as I see what's happening with HyperVerse. Soon you will have support groups for people, ex-HyperVerse support groups. Number 3, if it was a scam, it would have been shut down by now. That's utter bullshit. Oops, sorry, swearing. Successful Ponzi schemes can actually go on for years before they actually get discovered. And there's a really good example of,
Bernie Madoff's
Madoff with a whole lot of money scheme. He reckoned it started back in 1991, but the staff members have been working since the mid-70s, said it had been going on for years longer. The total fraud went into the billions of dollars, and the last statements indicated he $64.8 billion worth of client assets. So how was that discovered? Well, it was revealed that during the 2008 market crash, institutional investors under severe pressure needed to redeem their investments. So he normally kept around about $8 billion in a slush fund. Millions and billions is always confusing. And the scam only worked when people asked for modern requests to redeem their money. So he was paying out. And importantly, as long as the amount of money coming in always exceeded the money going out, it was fine. I think I got that around the right way. Excuse me if I didn't, but I think you get the idea. You need more money coming in than going out, like any business. However, in 2008, the size of the redemptions was $7 billion. Even though he tried to entice investors to come on in order to pay the people that were redeeming, he wasn't able to satisfy the redemption remarks and eventually had to admit to fraud. And he put his hand up. The scheme is exactly the same as HyperVerse. It is essentially a money-making printing machine. Promises massive, mysterious, consistent returns. Oh my goodness. About half of all investors actually do make their money back. With Madoff, half of his investors actually did make their investment back. So, So the withdrawals were that you hear about HyperVerse members saying that they have made their initial investment back as critical to running a Ponzi scheme. You need to have a decent level of happy customers for the scheme to actually last a decent length of time. The scheme literally relies on people bragging to their friends about how much money they're making in order to convince new people to join. Number 4 question. I'm doing really well. I've made lots of money and it's not a scam. That's the proof in the pudding. So let me emphasize something really important. It's not real money until you get it withdrawn to an exchange. So HU and HVT is not real money. It looks good on paper or on the screen, but it's not real money. It's the same as playing Monopoly, artificial money. A lot of people are actually saying they're doing really well, but it's until they start withdrawing the money regularly that HyperVerse are holding back withdrawals. You'll actually find people are starting to gift membership using their reward money to buy new memberships, and I'll explain more of that in a minute down below. A guy I interviewed on a video, how to withdraw from HyperVerse, there's a link in my show notes on my website or YouTube channel. He had withdrawn $7,000 US. Initially he had invested $5,000 US, and he had told me he had also been reinvesting and buying new memberships within HyperVerse. He's doing this because he wants to get more daily rewards. He's got nothing to lose because he's already got his initial investment out. He also told me that he had recruited 10 people who are probably also now recruiting. I can't read this word even though I know it really well.
It is the algorithms.
Algorithms. They will be looking, I'll be watching every transaction for people that are not reinvesting, recruiting other people, and they'll be blocking those people who are cashing up. These people who run these schemes are not stupid. They are professional scammers. They will be actively managing groups. They will be denying rewards for people who go outside the ideal demographics. With the modern technology that we're all encouraged to embrace to survive and thrive, I can tell you this is a fact. If you go outside the HyperVerse flags, you will not be able to withdraw your rewards. Ryan, Sam, and the mystery man, I love saying it like this, Stephen Reese Lewis, are watching you from Dubai. Now they've just introduced, I'm going to flip that into a screen, get rid of my notes, and they've just introduced new membership plans, and these are membership 2.0, and you can invest 400, 800, 1200, and the big one 3,600. So they are now promising 400% return on your investment, but they're letting you hang in there a little bit longer before you get to that break-even point. They're buying time. You also need to pay more to sign up than you did initially. As a lot of people are now hooked and they can't get their money out, people will be reinvesting because they can't get their money out, so they might as well reinvest in another plan and keep looking at those magical numbers on the screen get bigger and bigger. You are now part of a religious cult, hyper religion. Now the founders, number 5 reason why people telling me it's not a scam. The founders, Sam Lee and Ryan XU, I always get that right, I'll just say XU, are successful business people worth billions. Now, catch names that you may hear around them. Hypertech Group, Hypercapital, Hyperfund, HyperDAO, Hyperpass, Hypermall, Hypercash, Hypermining, Hypercommunity, and now Hyperscam. There's a whole lot of hype around these successful businessmen. Blockchain Global lost $48 million in Australia for their investors, and since then the founders, which are these guys, have gone into hiding. Hyperfund, heard of them? Hyperfund had to rename because they got busted for multi-level marketing and there was too many security and fraud warnings. These same guys have started up so many shit crypto coins, it's not even worth me mentioning them all. However, I have got a few that I have picked out. So the first one is HyperDAO, which is now worth 1 cent. Molecular Fortune, I can't say that right, just in case you think I can't, that's for the podcasters.
Molecular Future.
They are now worth 0.1 cent. That's ridiculous. So that's 10% of one. Oh, I can't even work that out. That's nothing. They're dead. And this one here, which I've just invested in, which is a laugh.
Geno Network.
They're worth 1 cent as well. And then the big one, Hypercash, is worth 32 cents. And you can see that these companies are just going into the red every day more and more. And then you've got HyperVerse, which is also in the red most of the time at $1. So that's pretty interesting, wouldn't you think? So if you do a search on HyperVerse Global Launch Event Watch Live, that is a phrase, you'll need to look at my show notes. You'll see that there's a lady called Hope Hill. Now, she is the compliance officer for HyperVerse. She's actually using a fake name. It was highlighted. I'm going to give you her fake name.
Runny Joel.
Runny Joel. And she is actually a hope coach. Can you believe that? She'd be hoping for get rich quick, I think. If you continue to watch that same video I just mentioned, the CEO, Stephen Rees-Lewis, zooms in and reads from the teleprompter like a boss. He's still nowhere to be seen. The HyperZombies are all searching for him, but they'll never find him. The reason for this is he's not even human. He's already in the ecosystem, living in the metaverse as an AI. Hyper Steven 00.5. Number 6 reason. An acquaintance approached me and they would like to gift me a membership for myself and my kids. I read that wrong, but you get the gist of it. Yep, you heard right. Somebody's going to invest their money for you to get you involved in HyperVerse. They will set up a HyperVerse membership and pay for the account with their rewards. However, you will need to use your real name and your children's name, and they will let you pay the money back once you make a profit. How can you lose to that deal? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is you're now involved in a Ponzi scheme, and it's a scam. It's also illegal in most countries. So congratulations, get new friends. Now, why they do this is more interesting. It's an old Ponzi scheme trick. The people are building their own downline. So multi-level marketing is like a pyramid, right? So one person can't withdraw, so they gift the memberships using the reward money that they convert to cash. So there's all these people at the moment, which I'll explain later on, who are trying to figure out how to withdraw their money and they can't. So now they've come up with a new method, and that is to buy memberships for friends and family. And they want you to repay, say, something like $50 a month once you break even. So you've got no investment, no risk. And that means that they are getting their money out, what they call a backdoor method. It's you. Great. In the meantime, your cash is locked into the system. In the last few weeks, you would have seen a lot of this happening on Facebook timelines. There's only one winner, and it's certainly not going to be you. This is actually called modern day money laundering. Not very clean. Also, the hope is that you're going to get hooked in HyperVerse, and you'll start recruiting other people, and the pyramid will just get bigger and bigger. Okay, one other reason why HyperVerse isn't a scam is I need to stop this nonsense and get a real job. Well, would you believe I have a real job? I build workshops that help people survive and thrive. I also have a few websites selling products. I do a lot of drop shipping. I also own and facilitate a business networking company. So I'm a fully qualified painter and a decorator. I learned my internet skills when I painted a small cafe. And with the business owner, I started up Christchurch's very first email centre, which is known now as an internet cafe. My dear entrepreneurial friend was called Peter Young. So when Peter went back to Australia, he left me the internet cafe. I finished up selling everything I owned, and I bought myself a laptop and a digital camera on my credit card. I hitchhiked around New Zealand telling people I was a mobile internet consultant. I built a website called New Zealand's Information Network. I built websites on the road, charged $300 to set up a web page at the time, and I charged $30 a month to keep it going. In 2004, my company turned over $475,000, and that year I took home $275,000. For 10 years, I had generated a six-figure income from that very company. My wife at the time, we lived on a 10-acre block. We worked from home from a satellite dish from our purpose-built home. The company was actually called New Zealand NZ.co.nz Limited, and I've recently renamed that company to Danny DeHeck Limited. And you can actually find me on the New Zealand Company Register. You can also find my contact details on my website, deheck.com. Now, this is actually a common practice for a genuine business, unlike HyperVerse, where you cannot find any of those details. The founders of HyperVerse are nowhere to be seen. The CEO, Stephen Rees-Lewis, doesn't have a digital footprint. He's meant to be driving the ecosystem. You cannot find him anywhere on the internet. He's like he doesn't exist. He's in the ecosystem already, I reckon. Okay, now this one is a real good one, and this is where I'm going to use my text to voice software. Now, there's a number 8, HyperVerse general disclaimer. Have you read it? Because I'm going to make you read it. You need to read this stuff. I found this lady, Tammy Jackson, and she must be one of the biggest scammers in the world. She's running meetup groups. She's running Zoom meetings. She doesn't care about anyone except herself. I thought I would tune in and listen to a Zoom meeting that was replayed on Vimeo. Now, I want you to listen to this disclaimer and tell me that you feel safe, that your money, which you can't get out of HyperVerse, is safe. Okay, so I'm just going to set this up, and I'm going to also, while this is playing, I'm going to play a few, scroll through a few web pages along the way. All right, here we go.
The information here is provided to you in general terms, without taking notice of your specific personal and financial situation. Under no circumstances should this presentation be considered as any type of solicitation, investment, legal or financial advice. In describing the various parts of the Hypertech Group and HyperVerse, past performance does not guarantee future results, and is for informational purposes only. Acquiring a HyperVerse membership gives you access to benefits such as education, optional, access to other products or services within various parts of the Hypertech Group including the separate HyperVerse ecosystem, and access to the daily rewards program of the HyperVerse membership as provided to all HyperVerse members. A membership acquisition involves an exchange of the cryptocurrency USDT Tether for the HyperVerse unit of account called HU Hyper Unit, and it is not an investment. Access to certain other optional products and services may be subject to KYC and separate qualification processes, and may not be available in all countries. Each membership carries a specific benefit and specific time frame and will expire as specified. Access to membership can be extended through acquiring additional and separate memberships by your personal choice. The HyperVerse membership is on a best efforts basis and, like any project, there is a risk of loss of funds and rewards. The world of cryptocurrencies is highly volatile, can involve risk of loss, and may not be suitable for all persons. Risks include but are not limited to market and trading risks, system and transaction processing risks, cybersecurity, regulatory risks, business failure, mistakes made by yourself, and others. Opinions, market data and recommendations are subject to change without notice. HyperVerse seeks to mitigate risk by exclusively accepting USDT Tether for membership. USDT Tether is considered a stable coin and historically has not been subject to the market volatility found with other cryptocurrencies. We do not purport HyperVerse membership to be a get-rich-quick scheme. There is no recommendation in this presentation to acquire any membership, product or service. You make your own decisions, based on your own due diligence. We recommend that if you are unsure in any way, you seek the advice of a suitably qualified professional. Your continued attendance at this meeting or recording of this presentation beyond this point indicates your acceptance of the above terms.
Now you take that disclaimer to any financial institution or any qualified financial advisor and ask them, should you get involved in that company? There are a couple of things in there which I'm not legal myself, so I don't know, but this here tells me that basically if you listen to that disclaimer, They are not responsible for anything. Total. And they do mention about when you buy these memberships, like most banks, if you invest your money, you theoretically get your money at the end. Remember, the whole scheme is really about you investing your money, getting the rewards, and then keeping your money with a promise of 400% return. Just crazy. All right, number 9. You're only limited by your imagination. God, I love this one. So people tell me I don't understand about the blockchain. I don't need to understand 100% about this mystery blockchain. One guy told me that only 5% of people understand about the blockchain, and you need to use your imagination to have belief. This is religious cult stuff. HyperVerse, when they launched their HyperVerse at the global launch event in the 5th of December 2021, I got that wrong last time, they announced their entry to the, I always get this now, it's a simple word,
Raging
megaverse space, designing an alternative reality where intergalactic voyagers, that's you, can design their own virtual lives. So this is all built on a virtual existence, NFTs, the whole 9 yards. This is not their baby. If it was, I'd be singing about it. This is actually the HyperVerse is actually somebody else's baby, but they're theoretically going to be one of the first explorers. Okay, I'll stop going on. I'm getting off target. The event was graced by heavyweights, they said. VIPs such as Stephen Lewis, CEO of the Hypertech Group. And then you've got Sam Lee, who's the chairman of Hypertech Group. And you've got Ryan, founder of Hypertech Group. And the other one that I showed you before was Dead in the Water.
Colin Star Capital. Greg Richter.
Yep, and then you've got Molecular Fortune. Oh, one of them's correct. Oh, they're all used as cryptos. And then the one that they've just partnered with lately, which is really crazy.
Genero Network.
And that's Chris Hector. So, hope those heavyweights haven't overloaded your imagination. These guys have millions of dollars of your money. They are all professional scammers. There's no doubt about it. Don't associate with people like that, guys. It will tarnish you for years. All right, number 10 and the last one. They are doing upgrades, and this is why I can't withdraw at the moment. This was mentioned on their Facebook group, which is now being taken off. Okay, so according to HyperVerse's Withdraw Failure Facebook group, which the link is in on my website or my show notes, the group description is can't withdraw, filled out the Google form, no support from corporate, customer service doesn't help. This is a group where you can share this dilemma. So I asked the admin, the admin asked me to stay on topic and not to post about HyperVerse being a scam, because he's really concerned they can't withdraw money. He's a lovely guy, and you can hear he should be a podcast. He's got a fantastic voice. And until they're totally convinced they are going, that they're not going to receive their rewards, they want me to hold back before I start posting about all these scams. So they're not quite there yet, they're close. So HyperVerse has been going since 2019, and a lot of people think it's going to go on for a long time, but this is coming to an end. So I'm going to let you listen to this message.
All right, thanks, Danny. Thanks for being straightforward about that. I wish I could help you a little bit more with that in the group that I'm adminning right now, but I really do want to keep it straightforward about sharing information on the withdrawals only, and not letting the conversation stray too much, because there are people who don't know about the things going on, who have also failed withdrawals, and I want this to be a place for them to come in and get some basic information. Again, because you probably don't know, but we are getting blocked and banished and censored for having that discussion in the main channels of HyperVerse, which, it pretty much leads us to believe that this is a scam, and they're trying to delay things as they get more people and more money. All I can do is hope that it's not, because that's a lot of people that are going to get hurt if it is. We're in a waiting mode right now, critical waiting mode. Most of us now have been waiting at least 10 days since we sent in the KYC which supposedly should be the last step. Right now, there is some soft word that the KYC might take up to 2 weeks because of the sheer number of people that have KYC'd, and the customer service through HyperVerse is just, there must be a bunch of turtles working there, or sloths. But I just want to give them a full chance to see if they can prove whatever they're claiming. You know, I think that they might be the kind of company that's trying to fake it until they make it. In other words, they have a lot of ecosystem stuff going on, whether they've created tokens or maybe going towards a blockchain or things like that. And you need a community to make that successful. And so it's possible that this mechanism where they are, you know, recruiting people could be just that, a kind of a false mechanism to gather the many tens of thousands or whatever they have, and to eventually get them into an ecosystem where they could, you know, do a little bit more. I don't know. I don't even know if you understand what I'm saying, but we'll see. It really does not look good. This is one of the worst looking scenarios I've seen that it still exists. I'm surprised it hasn't collapsed yet, but time will tell. So give it a couple more weeks, I would say, and if we get our chain yanked a little bit more at that point and it becomes pretty obvious that nothing's going to happen, I will probably open up the site for just ranting and calling them out completely as scammers. So I'll let you know. I'll keep in touch, but please don't go that direction with it yet. Okay? I would appreciate that. I will take out the videos for now if you do put them down.
All right, so that's awesome. So and then after corresponding with a little bit more, he's a lovely guy. He really should be a podcast. He's got a great voice, but he still believes it's legitimate. So I just asked him that question: do you still feel it's an authentic company, or do you think it's a scam? And this was the last, well, not the last reply. I'm still corresponding with him, but and thank you for letting me use your. Well, you didn't let me. I just took control of them. But I think the reason why I'm playing your comments on this is because I think it will help others. And anyone we can save from investing in HyperVerse, the better. And I think it's important that people can see that people are really concerned about this authentic company. Because there's tons of bots out there at the moment trying to convince people that this is the real deal. So authentic people is what it's all about, and you certainly are authentic. So play the last video, the last soundtrack.
Hey Danny, you said that I still think it's not a scam or a question mark, unreal. No, I'm pretty confident that it's probably a scam, okay? I think it has all the telltale signs right now to being eventually a rug pull or an exit scam as they call it, and time will tell. It may go on for another year. I think from what I've heard, this particular company or platform or group of people has been going for maybe 2 or more years, and they changed their name
every year or so.
So we'll see. We're just hoping that we're able to withdraw again. I'm not sharing it with anybody. Rest assured, I'm not doing that. I learned my lesson with these things. That's why I say I'm not going to do a pay-to-play anymore. And you know, sometimes it takes a couple burns before we know not to touch the stupid fire anymore, right? There's a lot of people that just don't understand these things. I didn't. And we're learning. You know, the world is just a big scam artist trying to take advantage, people trying to take advantage of each other. A sad state of the world right now, and you know, hopefully it can change. There are good platforms out there, and that's why I shared the trading software with you, EasyBot, which I know is not a scam because it has no ability to scam. They don't have access to any funds. But you know, you're doing well and everything. I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, bud? All right, thanks.
Good on you, mate. No offense for playing those recordings, but I think it will help others, so I've done it. A lot of people are tied up in other small investment schemes or scams. They're not all schemes, and I'm finding there's a real pattern of people that are in HyperVerse are doing all these mini get-rich-quick schemes. So be careful, guys. So in conclusion, it's a sign of the times. The end is near. Part of my religious training when I was a kid. My website has actually been going off. The live traffic is incredible to watch. Hundreds of people are landing from Google who are searching for keywords such as Chuck Morris, HyperVerse, HyperVerse presentation, HyperVerse red flags, HyperVerse review, HyperVerse withdrawal. Is HyperFun a scam? Is HyperVerse a scam? Lance Bash, which found in one of my other videos, Ryan XU, Sam Lee, Stephen Reese Lewis, he's the one that gets most of the traffic, no one can find him. What is HyperVerse? Who is Hypertech Group? And I'm actually going to add a few more names to my keyword campaign because I think these people need to be accountable. And I'll read these names.
Chris Hector, Greg Richter, Ronnie Joel, and Tammy Jackson.
Yes, these scammers need to be held accountable. Remember Bernie Madoff? He did not have enough money to pay off the investors, and he had to come up with a bigger and greater schemes. HyperVerse has just released the big one, Membership 2.0. You can invest $3,600 and receive 0.5 rewards. These are the promised rewards. So that's $18 a day. In 200 days, theoretically, you will break even. But by this time, they will have no money left to pay you. Just like Bernie Madoff. This means the end is near. They're running out of money, or have they already run out of money? They're not paying people the promised rewards already. Stop investing in Ponzi schemes and get a real job like I've got. Hey, thank you for listening to What the Heck podcast. Please do subscribe. I value your comments and your subscription to my YouTube channel. All the show notes can be found at theheck.com. Thanks for tuning in.